Let's now turn to Europe. The aftermath of Storm Bram, a powerful weather system that has torn across the United Kingdom and Ireland, bringing days of disruption, flooding and dangerous winds. The storm slammed into coastal areas with force, whipping up waves, swamping roads and leaving tens of thousands of homes and businesses without power. Airports, rail networks and ferry services faced mass cancellations. And while conditions have begun to ease in some areas, strong wind warnings remain in place for parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland. Our report explains the full extent of the damage and how communities are coping.
Storm Bram swept into the British Isles with relentless force, bringing heavy rain, gale-force gusts, and disruption on a national scale. By Tuesday, December the 9th, large parts of England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland were dealing with flooded roads, cancelled transport, and significant power outages. In fact, in parts of England and Wales, up to 2 weeks' worth of rain fell in just 24 hours, leaving emergency crews scrambling to pull people to safety from submerged cars and rising rivers. On the transport network, Bram's impact was immediate. Rail lines were closed across parts of the southwest and Wales. Trains to London were delayed or cancelled, and services in Scotland faced speed restrictions due to debris and fallen trees. Roads were no less chaotic. Sections of motorways, including in Greater Manchester, were shut after accidents and flooding. Now, Storm Bram also brought unusually mild temperatures, with some areas reaching nearly 17 degrees Celsius, far above the seasonal average. Meanwhile, in Ireland, a status yellow rain warning was put in place for southern counties, followed by status orange wind warnings for southern and western counties.
We had to cordon off the streets there because it was very unsafe for people to walk on. The water, as you can see early on from the pictures, the water was well up. It was nearly covering a lot of the cars.
Experts claim that December storms are not unusual in Ireland. Last year, around the same time, the country was hit by Storm Dara. And climate experts warn that this pattern is no coincidence. Warmer air holds more moisture, increasing the intensity of rainfall. Changing ocean temperatures and altered jet stream patterns are making storms stronger and less predictable. Europe, they say, is already experiencing more frequent and more damaging extreme rainfall events. Storm Bram is not an isolated incident, but part of a clear pattern of increasingly intense and frequent extreme weather across Europe, from heat waves and wildfires to serious floods. Europe endured its most extensive flooding in more than a decade last year, with around 30% of the continent's rivers experiencing significant flood levels. In 2024 alone, flooding killed at least 335 people and impacted more than 410,000 others across the continent. Floods and storms also ranked as Europe's costliest weather disasters, with losses estimated at over $21 billion. In fact, 2024 was the hottest year ever recorded globally and the warmest for Europe, the world's fastest warming region. Global temperatures now sit about 1.3 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, driven largely by human activity. And as communities recover from Storm Bram, experts are urging long-term action, from investing in flood defenses to reducing emissions and preparing homes, roads, and power networks for a future where extreme weather becomes the new normal. For many across Britain and Ireland, Storm Bram is a reminder. Climate change is no longer a concept for conference discussions. It's at our doorstep, and the call for action has never been more urgent.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?